Now, the budget, it's a little different format. For those of you that have been here in previous years, if you're new, this format, this is a direct parallel or a mirror image of what's on our audit page. Huntsman puts here had done one audit, and we're just about done with our second audit for fiscal year 9-10. So I thought it'd be helpful to, instead of having different formats, and so I've condensed some of these. Some of these are, well, it's, some of them, things have been combined and it's been condensed in fewer accounts. Now on the top, just as a beginning point, talking with some of the towns are looking at a 2% increase in wages, and the Sac County is more than likely we're going to approve 2% pay raises for all the employees, ambulance, roads, and the rest. So that number, if I figured it right, it's a 2% increase, and then our FICA, our Social Security, that reflects that figure. Social Security and IPERS went up like 1.25% to try and deal with issues involved with the pension. So IPERS went up both for the employee and for the employer. Operating repairs and supplies, that's $20,000, and Larry thought we'd spend approximately $13,000 on top coat, which might not be all used in this budget year. But engineering services, I took that from in your packet. There's also an estimate of from Peel and Parrott, and so I took the figures from what Ivan sent down, and I put that in to this budget. And so engineering services, the rest of it, I guess you're looking at it. I put down, I put down 100,000 for recycling. That could be 10,000 high. Maybe 90,000 would better reflect what we might experience. Of course, the financing cost, but the Howard Center, that's fixed. Leachate, the testing I included in the above. No, wait, leachate is below. Monitoring wells and testing. The 1,000 we spend on leachate testing, I put in that item below at 17,370. Leachate transportation this year was around 9,000. So that's gone up.
Depends on how much we haul too.
Yeah.
The more we haul, the more it's going to cost us. The less we haul, it'll be down too. If we got a dry winter, a dry summer, we'll probably haul less.
That post-closure account deposit of 27,000. That's not an exact figure. We won't know that until May. That's recalculated every year. And if you're really astute, that line item isn't in the budget line. It shows up in our audit, but it's on a page trailing that one, maybe a couple pages, and it's referred to as a transfer. Okay, then our revenue. Going back to 2 or 3 years ago, we normally landfill about 4,500 tons to 5,000 a year. We've been considerably higher than that the last 2 years because of the hailstorm in Oldie Bowl, Wall Lake, and Lakeview. Revenues have been tipping revenue has been way up. But after visiting with our operators, we put down 5,500 tons landfill. That's this coming budget year. And you see the corresponding amount, 198,000. And the assessment per capita, that's assessed to the rural people and the towns based on the 2000 census, and you're all pretty familiar with that. That shows the money generated there. Interest on CDs, that might be short. It might be closer to 4,000. And then, like we've done in years past, when our revenues don't meet our expected expenditures, we put a line item in to liquidate or cash CDs, and so that's 200,000. We might have to put in 200,000 or more out of our available funds to meet our budget requirements. Any?
That's due to the cell development.
If you look up that item, you know, normally, I don't know what it normally is, but you know, we got 275 in there out of that. You know, if it weren't for that, that line item, you know, would be, you know, just under 400,000. So we spend, you know, germane to this is, you know, in 4 years we're probably going to do this again. You know, we'll do cell 7D, this 240-foot cell, depending on, you know, we might go another year if we don't have a lot of shingles and a lot of houses. We are getting more houses, demoed houses at the landfill. Previous to recent years, they were going other places.
This cell project for 275,000, what's the life expectancy of that?
4 years. Yeah.
When you have to take a house, does that come back pretty well? Is that condensed?
If you work it before you push it up, if you run over with a compactor, it breaks up in pretty small pieces, and it pretty well disappears if you work it in with the garbage and stuff. But if you just push it up the way they haul it in, it'll take up some space. But we usually run over it and try to bust it up before we push it up. And it'll get into anywhere from 6-inch pieces to maybe 4-inch pieces up to a foot. You know, otherwise if you push it up the way they bring it in at 6-8 foot pieces or longer or whatever.
Dean, I have a question. I don't know, maybe one of us takes notes here on the fuel. Do you have any anticipation of that going up within the next year?
Everything else is going up, the sales going up. I don't know whether to go up.
Well,
Usage may hinder.
Well, I know a lot of places, I mean,
Yeah.
like where I work, we contracted, you know, but it's probably going to go up. And you guys were just talking about how you have some pieces you have to work extra. We ever thought of, are you guys ever done like a fuel surcharge when it gets over a certain price, or is it plan to fill out on that?
What do you think about adding 5,000?
For the fuel,
Okay.
it might not hurt, depends on how much extra work we've got to do.
I'm
We
sure
got
it won't
most
go
of
down.
that done this last year. You know.
Plus the cost of fuel.
There's no way you can contract it then, right?
I think we contract right along with secondary roads, whatever they get it contracted for, I think is what we get it for.
So you can pull out of their barrel?
No, it comes out of it comes out to us off their tank wagon, but they contract it. I think that's what we get for a price too. That's basically the same way with the propane. Whatever they contracted for, we get it about the same.
So they are looking in the future, because they're saying that, you know, gas could be $5
I'm pretty sure that's the way it's always worked. I can call the fuel man and see how they do that. I think that's what we get. We basically get the price of what Secretary Roads does, I think.
So they don't buy in advance either, they just buy it off the tank?
That I can't say.
So many gallons?
Yeah. I couldn't tell you how they do theirs. And we don't even contract the fuel. The propane we do, basically, roughly each year we use about the same, but as far as the fuel goes, I don't think we've ever contracted fuel. It's just on an as-need basis. But the price gets whatever they quote secondary roads, basically we get that too, I'm pretty sure.
Well, according to my understanding, if you contract fuel, you gotta take it right away.
Yeah,
So
and
you
I
have
ain't
to
got,
replace it. You have to put
I only got a 1,000-gallon barrel,
Yeah.
and we'll run through 5,000-6,000 a year.
Yeah, see, we're running the same problem. We're trying to contract it. We have no visibility, and we gotta take it right away.
So Larry, with these, like, you're just talking about houses, bigger pieces, you said you have to roll it with the compactor quite a few times. Is that still just 36 bucks a ton, or
Yeah, it is.
does that take a considerable amount more with that?
Not really.
Okay.
You can take like a side dump comes in, you spread it out and run over it about 3 times and it's busted up, and then by the time you push it up and pack it again, it's busted up pretty well.
It's not something you're working on, because I was gonna say if it takes a lot of fuel to do it. Then,
No,
okay.
I'd say maybe 15 minutes to a load, running over, 15-20 minutes, unless it's got some big beams in there, then you work on it a little harder. We had some utility poles hauled in this winter, and it took a little longer to bust them up, but we got it done.
Okay.
A year ago, we raised the tipping fee and we raised the assessment, because I don't know if you remember, we penciled in trying to build reserve for future development or machine cost. And we budgeted, trying to build 80,000. Well, we didn't. We spent, how much was it compacted? 50,000? 51? Huh?
Trailer.
Yeah.
49.
Yeah. We put some we've done.
Few repairs.
Yeah, we spent maybe $500-600 on
Yeah,
extra.
so we got
We had
50
to
there,
do
we
it.
spent 13,000 on the fence. So there's 63 we spent. But hopefully, we won't have to spend the next couple of years. We're gonna have, like we always have, we're gonna have to watch our cost. And,
We had a little extra engineering cost too this last year for that stormwater pond, so.
well, we had, we got wells, the new wells, there's more testing this year. Some of that won't be reoccurring, some will. But,